This is a scary movie about a mirror who scares people. Well, actually, it's a really evil mirror that plays tricks on people and takes their souls or some shit. Sounds like bad news, yeah, and everyone hates a creepy mirror. And this movie ultimately bounces between two timelines. The first timeline is this really attractive redhead and her brother. He gets out of the feed farm, the loony bin, and something happened to them when they were kids, and it involves this mirror. So now they're gonna confront it today, and it flashes back to 10 years ago and sequentially shows you what happened that, messed them all up. And he's like, nah, I'm rehabilitated, and what happened to us, we're like schizophrenic, we're crazy, and we all made it up in our minds, but people lost their minds because they're assholes, but nothing supernatural happened. There were no ghosts. And she's like, no, we were there, I saw it, I remember it, the mirror is haunted and it's evil and we need to take it down. Which was really awesome, because at that point you're like, all right, this movie rides a really fine line for a good part of it, where you're like, you don't know if these people are actually crazy and what they're seeing isn't real, or maybe the mirror is actually evil. I wish they kept that up for long enough, because at a point you're like, oh, the mirror just looks like it's evil. But it doesn't change the fact that I was intrigued. The movie didn't scare me or anything like that for a majority of it. I mean, the creepy stuff pops up at the end of the movie, but this movie ultimately, it intrigued me. I was interested in the mirror. I was interested as to whether or not they were crazy, or maybe the mirror was evil. Figuring that out's half the fun. The movie gets in their heads and they don't know what's real, so you don't know what's real, so it feels like the movie just got in your head. You just feel like you don't know. It puts doubt in your head, and that's actually cool when a movie can do that. Kind of harken back to Poltergeist, when the dude's like eating the meat and the maggots start crawling out of his face or something. I don't know. I saw Poltergeist when I was a little kid, but that's what I remember. I remember something like he's eating meat and then maggots start coming out of the meat and he looks in the mirror and it just starts coming out of his face. But the point is, that's what it reminded me of. This mirror is making them see things that aren't there, and it's a neat mind game thing. But if a horror movie is going to be more intriguing than scary, then it's going to have some disturbing imagery. And this movie does have some disturbing imagery. A couple times I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Oh, you did it. And it's neat how the movie bounces between the two timelines. Like, it's now and then it's 10 years ago and now and then 10 years ago. And it kind of shows that ultimately the mirror does the same thing to people. This thing, it has it down like clockwork, man. It's like, nah, I mess with people like this. I get in their heads and then I do this and then it's over. These idiots are falling for it a second time. Seriously, what's up with that dude? The dude's like, I'm rehabilitated. I think my sister's crazy. I'm gonna stick around though and flush 10 years of therapy down the toilet possibly. It seems like a good thing to do. I don't know, maybe it was the will of the mirror. Unlike the fact that the chick is like, she's like investigating. It's like a paranormal investigation thing. She's like, I have all these cameras. They have different battery sources. These alarms go off when temperatures change. This alarm goes off when I have to reset that thing. This alarm goose off when we have to hydrate. This chick has like gone through all the motions. She's like, I have locked this down. We're going to investigate this. And you're like, okay, all right, maybe I'll believe you by the end. Wait a minute, it's fictional. She's not actually trying to prove it to me. Oh, the movie brought me in. It sucked me in now. Okay. But at a point in the movie, it starts bouncing back and forth between the two timelines so much that you're like, where are we? Where are we right now? It does start getting a little confusing, but you can still keep up with it and you get the point. You're like, all right, they're just messed up in the head now. You can pass it off. If you ever get confused in a movie like this, you can just pass it off as they are losing their minds. It's supposed to be crazy. So the movie had an interesting premise. It was creepy towards the end. I like the mythology they build up in the movie about the mirror. I like how smart everyone was trying to be in this movie, but this mirror is just too